just got back from a local open mat for jiu-jitsu where after going to the place, I went with the brown belt, beat him a couple times pretty easily. Then the instructor's like, okay, let's go. And he's like, go with that guy, which was the other black belt instructor. And I was like, okay, so I go with him. And he proceeds to knee bar me, which ruins my year-long streak of not getting leg locked. But besides that, I just keep going with him. He keeps tapping me. And frankly, I love it because it's showing me the weaknesses in my own game. Because normally I don't get tapped. Like, normally I don't lose. I don't wind up in bad positions. And I've been to multiple open mats, multiple gyms around me, and it's actually hard to find people who are much better than me and can actually, like, show me where I'm weak. And when it happens, I love it. Like, I always pride myself on this in wrestling. Like, when you go with a really good kid, he takes you down and he pins you in practice, you're like, okay, let's go again. He does it again, you're like, okay, let's go again. And I've always prided myself on, I'll just keep going, let's go again, man, until the dude's like, I can't, like, I'm too tired. I'm like, I'm not, let's go again. Like, I'll be dead, but I'm like, oh, again. And it's not like an ego-based thing. It's like, it might be ego-based, but it's not, it's not like I can't accept defeat, but it's like, I can accept the fact that he beat me, but I'm like, let's do that again. I learned so much from, like, having you do that. And, like, yeah, sure, maybe my guard passing isn't the best. Maybe I need to slow down a little bit and secure my positions before I go for my submissions. But it's refreshing to have this wake up, because when you're going with the same people all the time, you start getting a little sloppy because you can go straight for the submission when you enter into the position without securing the position at all, because you're just better than they are. And it's the same thing when you, like, I always find when I take a week off or 2 weeks off or hell, a month off, and then I come back to jiu-jitsu, I always get better quicker, because taking the time off slows me down. So when I get back to rolling with people, I have to go a little bit slower because I'm not as fluid. And going a little bit slower requires me to tighten up my technique, because I can often overcome sloppy technique with speed, which isn't good. But the thing is, when you slow down a little bit, you improve the technique, and then as you get back into it, you also pick up the fluidity. So now you're fluid, but with good technique, which makes you pretty much unstoppable. But yeah, I mean, I literally just kept going with the guy. I'm like, let's go again. Let's go again. Like, round after round. I was learning so much. I'm like, even one of the positions, I got, like, stuck in, like, my jaw feels a little weird because he almost had some weird ass leg triangle on me. I'm like, okay, if I go like this, I can still breathe. I just held it there, and then in that position, I'm like, I need to think about this more and slow down a little bit so I don't wind up here again, because this isn't that fun. But I don't know, glutton for learning, even though that learning involves some punishment. Just make sure that you do it safely and don't get yourself injured. But then this one more thing, when I went to the brown belt that I tapped a couple times, I was going with him with my positions. It's like, the position itself is the submission because it's super uncomfortable and I'm compressing the lungs. And he's like, stop. And I stop. He's like, oh man, I was just like dying there. Like, but you didn't have a submission on me. Like, no, dude, that is the submission. Like, me sitting there on top of your lungs, folding you up, is the submission. Like, there's some guy in jiu-jitsu who, I forget the name, you look it up. Some people you'll keep telling me it's not a submission. Like, they'll tap and they'll be like, oh my god, I couldn't breathe. I'm like, that's the submission. Like, it's not a joint lock, it's not anything else. There's Daniel Cormier, I think the name is, or he might have been the guy who got the move done to him, or the guy who did the move, but I don't know, either him or the guy he did it on had like a 20-year streak of not getting submitted in professional combat, and he ended that with that move. And I'm like, yes, scarf hold is amazing. So I always find it kind of interesting, the rationalizations people will give you when like a lower belt taps them. And I've had one person stop and try to explain stuff to me. He's like, oh no, this is how you finish. I'm like, I know how to finish this move. Like, I've hit this move tens of times. Like, why are you trying to like teach me right now? Like, I'm submitting you. And I always call them out on it, because frankly that stuff's not cool. And then what's another one? Oh, when I was going with a different person today, we just got into a stalemate because I couldn't get through his closed guard. But then I was just like, okay, screw this. I looked at the clock, there's a minute left on the round. I rolled to my back, give him mount. I'm like, let's make this interesting. And he stops, he's like, you shouldn't do that. It's not like a good position. I'm like, dude, I literally just want a good scramble, and you're locking down from guard and not doing anything. And besides negating all my guard breaks, I'm not like, sure, we could stay like this for another minute, but I'd rather get in some actual movement. And he's like, well, you shouldn't do that in competition. I'm like, no shit, you shouldn't do that in a competition. I'm literally doing this because it's fun, and there's a minute left, and I have a really good I'm really good at turtle and escaping from mount. So if I can't escape from your guard, I don't see giving you mount as honestly that good for you, because I'm really good at it. So you can have fun wasting your energy trying to submit me, and yeah, I mean, I see it as a way of getting out of stagnant positions, especially in practice. Like, just have some fun with it. I'm like, sure, dude, you might tap me with this. You might get me. But I'd rather have some fun fighting out than just stay in your guard. Even though I do realize that's a weak spot for me. Not being able to break out of his guard and having to do that. But just, I don't know, some jiu-jitsu thoughts I had. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Peace out.